And welcome back to Jay's Retro Toys and Games. I'm Jason DeCanio, your gracious host. We're still in Season 2, and today on Episode 57, on this April 19th, 2023, we're looking at a toy that's kind of been around since 1984, and was an animated television series franchise that featured a team of space explorers who pilot a giant super robot. Well, they're produced by Peter Keefe and Ted Koppler through his production company World Events Productions, and was an adaptation of several Japanese animated television series from Toei Animation. The original television series aired in syndication from September 10th, 1984 to November 18th, 1985. And the first season, featuring the Lion Force, was adapted for the series Beast King Go Lion. The second season, featuring the Vehicle Team, was adapted from the unrelated series Armored Fleet Dare Rugger the 15th. And Defender of the Universe was the top-rated syndicated children's show for 2 years during its original run, and it spawned 3 follow-up series, several comic books, and a fine line of toys. And we'll look at those toys and tell you the history of this enterprise franchise called VOLTRON, next on Jay's Retro Toys and Games. Welcome to the show, and thank you very much, and hope that you had a fantastic Easter week. We took a little vacation here, and we hope that you had a safe one with your family and friends as well, too. We're going to be looking at VOLTRON tonight, and on this episode number 57 of our series of Toys and Games in Season 2. And like I said, the last time we looked at the Power Rangers, which was a spin-off of VOLTRON, because VOLTRON actually came out first in 1984. And so we're going to look at the Lion Force VOLTRON and the Vehicle Team VOLTRON from 1984 to 85, and kind of give you a build-up of all of that, and let you know the history of this whole franchise that was not only known for its toys, but also for its books and movies and other good stuff that if you were a diehard VOLTRON fan, you knew exactly what you were getting into with this particular toy line. Okay, so the second series was primarily edited from Armor Fleet Dare Rugger the 15th, with the storyline considerably changed, and this iteration of VOLTRON, the Galaxy Alliance's home planets are now overcrowded, and a fleet of explorers is sent to search for new planets to colonize. Along the way, they attract the attention of the evil Drool Empire, long engaged in an ongoing war against the Alliance, and the Drools proceed to interfere with the mission of the explorers and the colonists. Since the Erusian VOLTRON is too far away to help these explorers, a totally new VOLTRON has to be constructed to battle the Drool threat. This VOLTRON force consists of 15 members divided into 3 teams of 5, known respectively as the Land, Sea, and Air teams, and each team is specialized in gathering data or fighting in their area of expertise. Each team can combine their vehicles into a bigger machine, with each combined vehicle differing among the 3 teams. These fighters are the Aqua Fighter, the Sea Team, the Turbo Terrain Fighter, the Land, and the Strato Fighter, the Air. And when necessary, all 15 vehicles combine to form the mighty VOLTRON. However, the Vehicle Team VOLTRON only had enough stored solar energy to operate for 5 minutes. So in the toy line, this VOLTRON was referred to as VOLTRON 1 because it was set closest to Earth. Now, the VOLTRON 2 is the Gladiator VOLTRON. This proposed third season was to have been based on Lightspeed Electroid Albagas, and although Matchbox did produce and market toy versions of the 3 robots, the Black Alpha, Blue Beta, Red Gamma under the Voltron 2 name, the series never actually aired. And due to the extreme popularity of the Lion Force, VOLTRON, and the lack of popularity of the vehicle team Voltron series, World Events eventually elected against an alternate Voltron, and plans to adapt Albagus were aborted. Now, go to Voltron Fleet of Doom 1986. In 1986, World Events hired Toy Animation to produce the one-off crossover television special Voltron Fleet of Doom, which mixed in Go Lion and Dre Rugger the 15th footage with new animation. The special was made for the international market, and as of the middle of September of 2016, it has not been released. There was also a computer-generated series of Voltron, The Third Dimension, that was released in 1998, set 5 years after the end of the original Lion Voltron series, and the series was met with a mixed response due to various changes, such as the revamped looks of the Lion Voltron, King Zarkon, and Prince Lotor. The series served as a sequel to the Lion Force Voltron series. Among the tools used to bridge the gap between the two series was an official star map, as designed by Shannon Muir, and finalized in partnership with World Events Productions. After Voltron, The Third Dimension, World Events Productions went back to the drawing board to develop a more traditionally animated series in an attempt to recapture the spirit of the original. Now, go to 2011 to 2012. The animated series Voltron Force premiered on Nicktoons in June of 2011. The series follows the exploits of a group of 3 young cadets brought together by the original members of the Voltron Force to defend the galaxy against a resurrected Lotor, now ruling the planet Drool after a military coup d'etat. Voltron Force is a World Events production in conjunction with Kickstarter Productions and Classic Media. Then they went to Netflix and the exclusive series Voltron from 2016 to 2018. Legendary Defender, produced by DreamWorks Animation, is a reboot of the Voltron story. And you can go into all of that and look at and see that they premiered within the 2 years. Then there was a live-action film and the characters. They had DVD releases. They had digital releases, soundtracks, and the comic books. But we want the toys. This is where we're going here, the toys. Now, Matchbox imported the Lion Force Voltron, Gladiator Voltron, and Vehicle Force Voltron die-cast toys from Popeye of Japan in 1984. The company also released 6-inch figures of the Voltron robots that were more affordable, but lacked the detail level of their larger counterparts and could not separate into their component forms. Now, at the peak of the series' popularity, Panache Place released new Voltron toys, including action figures of the characters and a larger Voltron toy that could fit them. To coincide with the 1998 broadcast of Voltron The Third Dimension, the now-defunct Trendmasters reissued the Matchbox die-cast Lion Force Voltron with a few changes to the mold and a total of 17 weapons in comparison to the original's sword and shield. Trendmasters also released the newer Stealth Voltron and Voltrex variants at various sizes, as well as character action figures to go along with them. A dragon version of Voltron called Dracotron was prototyped but never made it to production. Now, shortly after the demise of Trendmasters, Toonami acquired the Voltron license and released their masterpiece Voltron toy in 2005, boasting more detail and articulation than the previous toys. The masterpiece Voltron sold for $139 to $149.99 at the time of its release. In 2007, Toonami sold an all-plastic version of the masterpiece Voltron for up to one-third of the first release's price, ranging from $49 to $60, and a variant of this version was packaged and sold with a Voltron line of Reebok sneakers. For the 25th anniversary of the cartoon franchise in 2009, the plastic masterpiece Voltron was reissued in a metallic repaint. Then in 2011, late 2011, Mattel designed but never released toys for the new Voltron Force series, while its online collector's site, MattyCollector.com, sold brand new toys for the classic series, including a 23-inch Voltron that fits 4-inch pilot figures in each lion. Then in 2017, Playmates Toys released toys based on Voltron Legendary Defender, though only 3 pilot action figures were ever released before the line was terminated. In early 2017, Bandai Japan, who produced the toys of Beast King Go Lion and Armored Fleet Drerugger the 15th, backed in their initial releases, released a Soul of Chogokin version of the Go Lion robot. The box was repackaged as Voltron for its American release. Air Drugger the 15th version was later produced in 2019, similarly branded as Vehicle Voltron in the U.S. release. And WEP purchased the rights to the original the Dare Rugger 15th, as well as Albagus and Go Lion sometime previously, so Bandai had to relicense the toys back from WEP to produce them. Then LEGO announced in August of 2017 that a forthcoming LEGO Ideas set based upon classic Voltron will be placed into production. The set was released on August 1st of 2018, coinciding with the final seasons of Voltron Legendary Defender. Then Private Press released the Voltron Defender of the Universe expansion set for their Monster Apocalypse Battle Miniatures game series in 2010. And in 2012, Voltron was shown in MetLife's Everyone commercial during the Super Bowl. Then you have the video games, animation stuff. Now, the thing that really amazes me more than anything else is the fact that we need to get back to the original Voltron that started it all in 1984 to 85. That was the toy run that we need to really look at. So this is what we're really looking at here. Okay, the first edition. This is what made the retro toys what it is. So, as you know, the Voltron animated television series, but the first series in 1984 actually produced a total of 124 episodes. This is a series and an adaptation of the Japanese super robot anime series Beast King Go Lion, which was dubbed into English and edited to create Voltron episodes. Later episodes also used footage from the mecha anime Armored Fleet Drerugger the 15th. So the premise, which is this narrator during the opening sequence, would say, "From days of long ago, from uncharted regions of the universe, comes a legend, the legend of Voltron, defender of the universe. A mighty robot loved by good, feared by evil. As Voltron's legend grew, peace settled across the galaxy. On planet Earth, a galaxy alliance was formed together with the good planets of the solar system. They maintained peace throughout the universe until a new horrible menace threatened the galaxy. Voltron was needed once more, and this is the story of the super force of space explorers specially trained and sent by the Alliance to bring back Voltron, defender of the universe. The first season is about 5 pilots who commanded 5 robot lions, which combined to form Voltron. These pilots use these machines to protect the planet Auris from the evil warlord King Zarkon and witch Hagar, who creates monsters called Robeasts to terrorize the planet ruled by Princess Allura. Thus, later on, late 80s, early 90s, the Power Rangers was kind of based off of this. Okay, so then the vehicle Voltron had almost the same kind of sequence. And the second season of the show was called Vehicle Voltron, based on Armor Fleet Drerugger the 15th, which spawned also a television special called Voltron Fleet of Doom. The premise of Season 2 is the Galaxy Alliance's home worlds have become overcrowded and search for new planets to colonize. This puts the Alliance in conflict with the Drool Empire. The protagonists are divided into teams, and we've already talked about the teams. Now, Ted Koplar assembled a team in Los Angeles to transform Go Lion into what would become Voltron. And Peter Keefe was brought aboard as executive producer with Franklin Kofod as the director. Since they had no means of translating the Japanese series into English, Keefe and Kofod surmised the plots, commissioned writer Jameson Brewer to write all new dialogue, edited out the more violent scenes, and remixed the audio into stereo format. The series was an immediate hit in the United States, topping the syndication market for children's programs in the mid-1980s. The Japanese series, Future Robot Deletionists, was originally planned to be adapted by World Events Productions as part of Voltron. And when requesting master tapes from Toei Animation for translation purposes, the World Events Productions producers requested the ones with the lion. Mistakenly, Toei then proceeded to ship World Events copies of Beast King Go Lion, another combining robot cartoon which featured lion-shaped fighting robot starships, because the World Events producers greatly preferred Go Lion to The Lashiness, or the Go Lion episodes were adapted instead and going on to become the most popular portion of the original Voltron run. And a third version series of Voltron based on yet another Japanese series, Lightspeed Electroid Albagus, was also in progress, but it was dropped when World Events Productions joined with Toei to make new Go Lion-based shows due to that show's popularity over the Dare Rugger run. Okay, so though airing in syndication, which offered other anime shows such as Robotech greater freedom to deal with subject matter such as death that were off limits in most U.S. network children's programming, WEP's adaptation of Voltron was heavily edited to conform to the more conservative standards of children's television in the United States, as well as the standard name change of characters and concepts in Go Lion Dare Rugger. Now, in Lion Force and Go Lion, in Voltron, the show begins with the 5 pilots sent by the Galaxy Alliance, whose space exploration mission takes them to a planet devastated by war. In Voltron, the pilots arrived on Aris and are captured and taken to Planet Doom. They then escape, return to Aris, and become the pilots of the robot lions in Voltron. In Go Lion, the initial scenes are actually of Earth. The pilots have returned from their mission in the then futuristic year of 1999 to find that the entire population of Earth has been killed in a nuclear war. They are then captured and taken to planet Galra, where the plot proceeds similarly. Only the planet they find the lions on is called Altea. And in the Voltron version, some footage of the pilot's arrival on Aris was taken from Armor Fleet Dare Rugger the 15th. Scenes of torture and atrocities inflicted by the alien conquerors on their slaves, such as a contest where alien soldiers would be rewarded according to how many prisoners they managed to decapitate in a given time, and some shots of corpses were removed. In Go Lion, Takeshi Shiro Shiragan, or Sven in Voltron, the original pilot of Blue Lion, is killed in a battle with Honevra, and his similar-looking young brother Ryu appears later in the series to join in the fight against Emperor Daibazel. Wow, these are some interesting names. But remember, of course, this was all taken from the Japanese Japanime shows, so a lot of this stuff is coming from that to try to be Americanized. You got to remember that these crossovers have a lot of their names still from the Japanese version. Okay, I'm going on here with more stuff. So really, when you think about it, we talked about all of the toy line and the Voltron series. Here's something very interesting. I had from the Voltron series the first Lion set, which was more of the air team and the sea team and the land team, and I was able to put those pieces together to make the full Voltron. I think my cousins had the third one, which was all the lions. Okay, which is the more popular of the toy line than the first one. But I think in terms of what we think, when we think of Voltron, we think of the Lion Force more than anything else, because that's what we watched, what was on TV at that time. Usually it was on Fox or some other syndicated channel like Channel 9 maybe, or Channel 11. It had probably some great reruns in it up until the time that the Power Rangers overtook everything. And if you're into Japanime and you're a diehard fan of it, this is probably what also started your quest onto Japanime. I know a lot of people with Japanime have several favorite characters. They follow a specific series, and they stick with it, and that's great. Others would say this character is better than that. Everybody has a different, outtake on Japanime and the characters. Fair enough. The toys, they kind of take off from, what Japanime had brought in. And then, of course, we here in the United States have gotten that Americanized toy due to the fact that it was much more affordable for our parents to buy, being as that to ship all the way from Japan to the United States costs a lot of money. So, where are we all going with this? Well, to tell you this, that this toy and this series and this franchise, if you watched it, you know more than me about it. I would like to see the VOLTRON toy line. Let's see if there's anything down here. Let's see. I don't know if I can type in something like that right now. Okay. Nope. Doesn't give me anything much to go on. But of course, in our slideshow presentation, we will, when we put this up on YouTube, you will see amongst, as we're talking, we're going to give you a kind of a break rundown with pictures to kind of give you an idea of where we're going with this as we're talking about more of the franchise and how it kind of all started back in the 80s. So again, next year would be the 40th anniversary of VOLTRON. So 39 years to this date, they've been in, production through the Japanime series. Okay, VOLTRON, like every other toy line here in the United States, lost interest as the Power Rangers, of course, was the main focus in the 90s, definitely. And as you can see, they lasted 23 years going, or 23 seasons of television programs with their toy lines, and they were able to keep up more than VOLTRON. But if you were a VOLTRON fan, you know your toy line just as much, and you'll stick with it. You'll support it and do everything you can in your power to have that, which is basically a toy 40 years now in the business that pretty much is a retro toy. So looking at that, you could say, yes, we have definitely come a long way from the VOLTRON series to bring you up to where that all started with the Power Rangers and other toy lines that have gone through that sort of historical timeline. And then, as far as I know, I never really was into the VOLTRON toy line myself, yet I had one of remember I had the VOLTRON 1 series. So I never got to watch the shows, maybe due to the fact that it was on at a different time, or I just was not interested. And if somebody asked me, where were you interested back in the day growing up, and I said I was more interested in He-Man, which I could really give you we got to still talk about the He-Man and She-Ra toy line series and have to go back to that because we covered such a very, very minute historical timeline on that series of toys. So when we get back to it, there's going to be more to cover. Okay? Now, next time on episode 58, which will be this Friday, we're going to be looking at a game. Yes, a game. And the game that we were supposed to look at was Rummikub, because we haven't done that one in a while. Whoops. So, come on. Okay, so the next game here was Rummikub, and we're going to look at the history of this enticing game, give you a rundown of the play. Oh, and it's got some good stuff on it. So we'll look at that game next time on Jay's Retro Toys and Games, episode number 58, on Friday, April 21st. I'm Jason Canio, thanking you very much for this interesting look at VOLTRON. If I screwed up any names as far as, character pronunciations and everything, I know I'll hear it in the comments. Thank you very much. One thing I want to mention, and I will mention this on my other shows when I get around to them. Please, if anything, if you're going to comment, please make your comments geared to what we're talking about and do not personally attack me, okay? I'm doing my best to try to give you the pronunciations and everything. I know I'm going to screw up on some of these things because they're going back from, Japanime and stuff. So, if you could give me that much leeway, that's fair enough. I'm not asking for much. But please, if you're going to be insulting on the comments, your comment is never going to be never going to be publicly published on the channel. Okay, so think before you decide to put a comment out there that literally will start a World War III, and we don't want that. Okay, this channel is clean and will be clean, and I monitor every comment. So please put some thought into your comments. If you'd like to say thank you very much for a great historical timeline back, I greatly appreciate that. I'll put that up anytime. But if it's going to be an attack towards me like you don't know what you're talking about and all this other stuff, please, baby nonsense is going out the door. Okay, folks? Thank you very much for your continued support of Jay's Retro Toys and Games. Have a great night, and remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. We'll see you on Friday. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the David3000 Network for great more content like this one.